God, hello everybody. Oh, I didn't mean to pin that. My bad. Hi. That was not intentional. How's everybody doing? Welcome in, you guys. Hi, Dives. Hi, Monte. Hey, hey, turn up, turn up. Hey. I feel like super loyal. I don't know. What do you mean? What the fuck does that even mean, Dives? Allie, welcome in. Allie, did you hit 30 today or was it 29 check-ins? Let's see. Ali, 29. Monte, hit 4. You icon. Kate with the 5. I didn't even see Kate. Kate was first. Kate got first. Icon. Oh my god. Welcome in, you guys. We're gonna get started here in a second. Let me just mute all these tabs that I have open because I'm a I'm a loyal friend, okay? I'm gonna keep you tabbed up. Momo, my Momo! BRB gotta go kill myself. Wait, what? Wait, I missed the stream? Did you? No way. Were you here yesterday? I streamed yesterday. Been pulling up. No, I appreciate you. First was taken when I came. Oh, I'm so sorry. Shout out to Kate. Monte, how are you? I was thinking solo queue, but if I'm fed up with randos, I might open up the lobbies, guys. So tune in to find out if the randos get to me. AK, okay, 3 stream streak. Let's go, Momo. My momito. I'm good. How are you? You know, um, I had a good day today. I feel well fed. I got my workout in at work, and I definitely feel my allergies today. Okay. Allergic to the world. I sneezed so much today. I had such a stuffy nose today. I'm like sniffling, and I know I'm not getting sick. Like I don't feel sick. I feel like I have tons of energy. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of sniffling, not the allergies. No, it was 75 degrees today. Walking around like literally. We have 2 million blood points. What are we doing with all those blood points? Oh, we have a killer bonus. That means lobbies might take a while. Um, that was me last weekend. I didn't feel sick. Itchy. Oh no. Hi. Hi everybody. Welcome in. We are gonna be vibing out today. Slater on repeat again, by the way. My hair is like wet ish, so it's not really cooperating. I might have to go get a hat. Let's do that. Hi, Justin Lindo. Hi, my momita. How are you? My hair is a mess after my shower. The best way to fix that is by putting on a hat. Oh my god, Dr. Seuss up in here. Momo, how are you, friend? How are you doing today? Yeah, today my nose was stuffy all day. Um, did not go away. It's still kind of stuffy. We're just gonna get started with games. Let's see if we make some friends today. I wish we could unlock her hairstyle. I keep spraying Simonix in my nose like it's my job. Well, keeping yourself alive is the part of your job. So, keeping yourself healthy, part of your job. I'm doing pretty. Yeah, only my one. Yeah, and it's like one of those things. It's like only the one. Like, how do I get it so it could just never happen? Doing pretty okay. Work was busy, but we busy, but we survived. Took it easy tonight. Oh my god, I'm glad. I'm glad you took it easy today. Um, I'm trying to get that game clipped. I was working on a video. It's literally like a minute and a half long, but the whole match itself is like 8 minutes of us running around Legion on Saturday. Big Pharma, when I catch you scamming my girl. Then I could clear it, and the other side would be clogged. You know, literally, just so the other side could be clogged. I know Rosa wanted me to clip that game for them so they can post a clip about it. Cause guys, we were eating up this Legion, and not even on purpose. Where do you post your content? I post on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. That's where I post all my content. I post my content everywhere nowadays. Because I don't really care what people say about it. I just want it out there. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I feel. Girl, what's your TikTok? I don't think it's in your links. Of course it is. I'll see. Mira. But also, Momo, we were in Kevin's chat together, I think. Once. Weren't we? Oh, it's not there. I guess my TikTok isn't there. Maybe I have a separate TikTok command. Nope. I'm a liar. Call me a liar. I have to edit that socials command. You commented on the video too. Yeah, exactly, Ali. You did. And that video was the Pokemon video. But they just clipped me lying. What perks do we have? I think I'm gonna bring weaving webs, weaving spiders. Invocation. Let's do it. I saw it on oh, it's 2-4 TTV. There's a TTV in our chat, guys. I don't know if I have a TTV command. Loki. Oh, yes I do. Wow! Oh, me already following you is crazy. Miss Jackson! That's how I felt. Every time I'm calling a lie, I feel like, Miss Jackson! Miss Jackson! That's how I feel. I want to make that face an emo, actually. Every time I lie, every time I die, I'm just gonna be like, oh god, it's Midwich for the first game. Hi Monte. Monte, how was your day today? And what did everybody do today? Momo said they worked. Ali, did you work? How was work today? Or, oh wait, no. Nola's on vacation, isn't she? Nola's vacation started. What are you guys gonna do? Are you just gonna like hang out with the cats all week? That sounds like so much fun. Midwich, like, get me out of here. I might just... Oh wait, let's find basement. Oh. It's Doctor. Oh, I'm playing a regular match, by the way. I am not playing Blood Moon. Let's go back to Blood Moon. Just hang with the cats. Anything else fun planned? Oh my god, Pancake! Mid bitch. Period. Oh, maybe it's Gunslinger. Pancake, how are you? I heard you and Ali met this weekend. How are you doing, Pancake? It's so good to see you here. I love that you guys have time to spend with the cats rather than work. Yeah, literally. What a great week to get the cats. I'm sure you planned it out that way, but that's like, honestly, so convenient that You'll be able to help the cats acclimate. Yeah, we did. She stole my cats. I love that. The cats are gorge. Hey, it's so good to see you, my friend. See, and we're running resilient. So. Everything's gonna be faster. You put them in the office? Oh. They seem so big already, too. Good to see you. It's so good to see you here. I'm so happy to be here. Make sure you get your chicken pancake. I'm doing so good. Today was such a good day. Oh, aquí viene. Hello. I might go get Hook. I think he's upstairs. I'm gonna go for Hook and hope for the best. Oh, hey! Hey! Let me heal you. Yes! Oh, they're 4 and 5 years old, so they are older. Okay, wait. I misunderstood that then, because Ali, you definitely said 4 and 5, and I thought you meant month. No, years. Oh my goodness. I went back to my gen. Ada's done with the second gen. This gen's being worked on. I hear somebody crying. Oh, he did come down here, huh? June and August. Oh my god, so they're older. Okay, see, I saw those pictures and I was like, they're big for kittens. Oh, I missed they're both turning 6. Stop, that's so cute. I'm so glad Ali has them. She's a great mom and a fur baby. I'm so happy that you guys got to connect like that. I think it's a wrap for me. Oh, he's on the TTV. Okay, I'm gonna keep working on this then. Hey, how was your Monday? What are you up to today? What were you up to? Cry. You're short and hot. No, seriously. Come on, please, let me finish. Easy. I'm gonna go back to that gen back there. Easy game. Okay, first already eating. Yeah, exactly. First game already eating on Midwich at that. Oh, you're sad. I mean, you just have to know that you wake up and they'll be there the next day. Have you? I mean, I'm sure you've had pets before. Do you have other pets, Ali? Besides the porch goose. Yeah, exactly, Monse. With the Grinch redeem. Aquí viene. Oh no. Oh, they're upstairs. Thank you, Talita. Wait, here, let me heal you. Come. I have a dog. Okay, yeah. Okay, that makes so much sense. And now you have a whole week to try to do that. To try to acclimate them together. I also thought it was Blood Moon event, so we're gonna have to switch game modes. Do you think he comes this way? Also have to put fixated on my girl. I knew he was there too. I knew he was there. I was like, it is too quiet over here. I'm just gonna work on a different gen. He's gonna hold that one. See, and then the thing about this place is I don't know where any of the gens are. I hear Jen. Come on, Thalita, let's go. Todd learned to meet them today, and she was so giggling at them. Oh, and they're so much older too, so they're probably like, just like, chill. You know, I feel like younger cats are definitely probably harder to like acclimate. WTTV, by the way. Alright, I'm just gonna work on door. I'm gonna leave these guys, but you know, I feel like they can get out. I have faith in them. Tony! Oh, I wish you were first too, bro. Welcome in. 6 check-ins is crazy. Hey, Ada. Yeah, I know. I see you. I see you. Relax.
I'm not gonna let nothing.
Relax, girl. I got you. Oh no. Why are you still upstairs? Why is that girl still upstairs? Like, hi Nola and hug Nola. Stop! Oh, and Allie's dad too. I can't really go do this. Like, I cannot take a hit. I'll stick around if I need to. Dad drove us? Oh, that's so sweet. Your dad was incredible. Dad Coffee Bean. I'm gonna leave. Bye, guys. Here, you can have this. Take my med kit. Bye. Gotta go. Before anything bad happens to me. Good luck, Charlie. Nola was like, who's this? I bet it's the thing about like adults is that we definitely know about your kids, Allie, but then your kids are like, and who the hell is that? Oh, that's so funny. Oh, your dad sounds like a treat. GG's to this team. Let's see if this guy's online. It's 2-4. Oh, they're live. GG. Oh, see, they're fucking up. GG's. From Arella. Oh. Y'all didn't get out? What happened? What happened? Why did he stay in there? He should have left. GG's. Well, my bad guy, GG's. Well, that guy was bad anyway, I guess. GG's. GG's to, I mean, the Thalita died. That's so unfortunate. Power World, oh my god. Do you like Power World? I did play Power World for a little bit. Oh, Nor, I know. You should just left. Just leave. Just vote. Just vote. Monte, why are you laughing at them? Allie, you didn't tell her who I was? A neighbor? So we're gonna go visit a neighbor hours away. She was like, you're so far from my house. Okay, I really enjoyed Power World as well, but I did get bored of it because there's no plot. Like, there's no direction. It just, like, exists. So... This neighbor is far, far. What kind of neighbor to what? Neighbor whose neighbor? Not my neighbor. I told you it wasn't the neighbor. I love that. I love that. I bet she's just in the car like, okay, mom, where are we going? Like, how far are we going? That is too funny. Her snackies and toys. Okay, let's switch to Blood Moon. I barked at Pancake. Why? Now, Pancake. What do we say about barking in public? That's reserved. That's reserved for the homies. She had her my dad got a new car a few months ago and we went with him to pick it up, so she was excited to ride in grandpa's cool new ride car. I love it. Do it loud. Oh yeah, you do it louder for the homies. Ronnie did not bark on stream. Was it like an ARF? Was it like a I will not be barking on stream? That reminds me of me playing Fortnite with my friend Terry, and there was I don't even know who this girl was, but she was in our squad. In the drunk stream was talking about, I'm dead. Oh my god, they were drinking, huh? I was playing with my friend Terry, and this girl in our squad was like, guys, hold on, guys, I have something to say, and then she barked, and we were like, what is going on here? So funny. Let's see. Ooh. I am wearing pants, guys, I promise, but I need to put my leg up on the chair. They were so drunk. Were they? I was not hanging out in their stream. I was not hanging out in their stream. I'm not wearing pants. Nope. Still no. Shucks. Gah. We love that. Honestly, you just got home, Pancake. I don't blame you. The first things that come off prove that I'm wearing pants. I'm wearing booty shorts. I'm embarrassed. I need a bigger desk chair so I can put the cats in my lap while I work. You need to get like you need to get those like things you can attach to your desk, like the cat bed. Monte, save that for the after dark. The first thing that comes off is the bra. Oh, true. I don't have one of those. I don't wear. Release the jugs. Take your titties out of the bra. Release the titty. Yeah, pants come off first. It's like shoes, pants. Not even the socks come off. I'm a mess. Then I take off the socks. Bring out the board. Monte. Then I throw them yitties over. Yeah. Pancake. The bumper. Ew. All Alright guys, do you think they'll appreciate my weaving spiders? Be honest. Will they appreciate it? Do you think they'll appreciate that I'm using a TikTok hack? Oh, I should put on potential energy, huh? Oh, and I have to put on fixated. Hold on. Fixated. Before. No, please. Please, where's fixated? I don't think I have fixated on her. Let's switch. No! Well, let's hope they appreciate weaving spiders. I thought you were gonna say weenie. That's what I heard. I thought weenie. I heard wiener spiders. Those too. You know, those would probably be helpful too. Who knows? We need all the kind of spiders we can get. Ali, how I was in such disappointment in that TikTok video today. Where I was just like, you mean to tell me I've been working my ass off to fucking rebuild this fucking world when I could have done this in 2 seconds just doing this? Together. Oh my god, I was so like, oh, it's Vecna. Oh. Well, that's not. See, this is the kind of school I like. I don't mind this map. Okay, but where are the gas tanks? Let's be so for real. Or the, oh wait, the basement. Let's do weaving spiders. You know, we didn't bring it for nothing. Oh, basements and main. BRB. You're telling me I should have finished the story? Yeah, like, you mean to tell me I should finish the story before I start doing other shit? Ugh. I was so distracted the whole time. I would have finished way sooner. Time to go do my invocation. They're all gonna hate me for this, but it's okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, chase the Nia. Don't chase me. Guys, I need to set up Sari bot because these fucking bots are annoying. So many people lurk. Forgot to say I'm trying to figure out dinner. Yes, go eat dinner, Momo. I'll still be here. We just started. Can I gamble here? I think so. I think the gambling's on. Hell yeah, pancake, get them points. I don't really know what to call them. They're my channel points are called channel points because I couldn't think of another name. Oh, and then you're like Ali, bitch. Wow, the invocation gets off. Okay. Oh, this is not cute. I wish I had a head on. Why didn't he hook her here? He hooked her over there. Does he know I'm in here? Is the question. Why did he hook her outside? I'm so confused. Oh. Guys, I'm wasting so much fucking time. Gotta go. Not on the hook. Let's be so for real. Okay, they got that. I'm gonna work on gens. Hi, Ryan. Oh, hi, Mark. Who's the killer? This is what I need, my fixated, but it's okay. We need to get some gen progress though. Hi, Stan. Welcome in. Thank you for checking in. Thank you for checking in. Rosa, how's your stream so far? I am tired of this, Grandpa. I don't like this. What stream? I'm on hiatus. Not you, silly. Talking about Rosa. Rosa's streaming. See, I have 0 mods in chat, by the way. What's a guy gotta do for a mod? Everyone go follow Ryan. Currently live playing DBD. Also, is there anyone else who streams in here? I don't remember. If I forgot you, please let me know. Oh, Tony. Well. Fucking Bill's dead. Oh, they got a gen done, finally. Okay, that's fine. I just said I was on hiatus. You're not on hiatus. You literally streamed like 2 days ago. And if you're on hiatus, that means you're coming back to stream. Are they inside, man? Don't mind me, just gonna go do this. Let's fucking go, lads. We're fighting. Why are we fighting? Don't make me take out the chocolates. I love that emote. It is so good. Fan has some really... I can try to take a chase. Hope he doesn't know. I'm broken. Oh, he's right there. Oh, couldn't make it around. GG. I think we don't get out. I don't think the weaving spiders worked. I don't think the weaving spiders work, guys. I'm not sure it worked. Dan, I miss you, friend. Why are you taking a hiatus from stream? Why? Let's get Tony a shout out. Just milk the hook. Just leave me here. I'm okay. I'm not going anywhere. Trust. I'll be fine right I'll be fine right over here. Everything is in shambles. What do you mean? What's wrong? What happened? Is it a one-manner? Okay, no. Well, look at all this progress on this gen. Right in front of his salad? Alright guys, that's it. This is the last hit. This is the last hit. This is the last hit. I don't know if we make it out, but maybe homie does. Wait. Sir, come here. Come here. Where are you going? Oh. Ah! Well, that's one way to play. An error occurred. Oh! How fitting for an error to occur as you clip that. Right? For that clip. Oh, I should force this, huh? Be a good teammate. Alright, random. This is your moment. Have it. Man, what do you mean everything's in shambles? Talk to me. I feel like your streams were going so well. You were doing so well. Rhea with the check-in. Thank you so much, friend. Oh, how are you, Icon? Hi, Star. Welcome in. Star, make sure you... Oh, you got your check-in too. I just saw that. 14 times, 18 times. Love that. Love to see it. My favorite, Rhea. Oh, Rhea. All the homies are here today. Rhea, my Pia, did you have another burrito bobia? I'm learning how to read, guys, in real time. You guys are watching in real time. Rip. Yeah. This is what happens when you have randos in your game. Let's put on our game. This is really who we need to be playing. And we'll give him weaving spiders instead of do no harm. And honestly, toolbox. Yeah, should we just do toolbox? My frijolita, how did Ali know I ordered another burrito? She's your FBI agent. Yep. Come on, Gabriel, booty shorts? Okay, yeah, see, this is Gabriel's hot outfit. We love Gabe. He even has his toes out. Y'all matching? Cannot confirm nor deny. You'll just have to use your imagination. I literally have burrito in my mouth right now. I'm sick. Damn, Tosie's out. Look at the dogs are out. My summer outfit, literally. Exhibit A. But look at how he looks. He looks incredible. The body is right. The body's T, if you will.
Have you ever had a Krispy Kreme?
Well, have you?
Have you ever gone to Krispy
Yeah.
Kreme? Was it crispy?
Was it crispy?
No.
Yeah, right.
Right. Hi, Monte. I love that you're enjoying the sound alerts. That's what they're there for. I want a Krispy Kreme. Your cute jeans.
It's me,
Oh yeah, Stargazer.
Jessica.
Look up. I knew it was you.
I'm in here.
It's the sniffle. I'm telling you, it's the sniffle that keeps that. It triggered me. You played it, and I was like, Stargazer's here.
What was that? Okay, James.
Yeah, I have some really good sound alerts. Like, I love my sound alerts. And they're really there for me. Like, if anybody else wants to play with them, fine. But if people play them and I'm streaming, I'm just like automatically smiling, automatically laughing. Pancake will whip out the Krispy Kreme lady sticker on Discord and I laugh every time. I literally. Alright, invocation time! Wow, we spawned in the basement. It was meant to be. Do you think they'll care? Clap if you care. Oh, it's an Oni. Clap if you care. Oni. Ah! How do you know? Wait. Okay, fine. I won't do it. I won't do it. Please, no. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. Okay? Go. Thank you. No. Okay, go. I promise. I won't go. I'll stay right here. I promise. Promise. I got you. I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna do it. Promise. How did he know? Now how did he know? Ugh. Well, that's what happens when you don't let me do my invocation. You get blinded. No. On my watch. Oh, I need to add that. That's a good reminder, Monte. Thank you. I need to add that. Not on my watch. Get that witchcraft out of here. I thought we were friends. Yeah, leave me on the floor, you freak.
This is a load of barnacles.
Well, look at the material. Just bow. Oh, the save again. Will he ever learn? He's gonna hook me as punishment, watch. No, no, no! Oni, I did what you asked. I stopped. Look at my butt looks great in these shorts. Wait, let's take a little look. Oh, that's booty in the face. What a view.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
You're my favorite view. Gabe is beating the BBL allegations with this little old booty. But I mean, I think the shirt is cute. I wish the fit was a bit better. I wish he had something to go with this shirt. That's not jeans. But I mean, look at my man. My man. I'll handle this. Hey, where is he? Where are you? You want me to heal you? And I'm looking at the pee-pee. Oh, I see. I didn't want everyone to look at the pee-pee. I was looking at the pee-pee too. Holy. I mean, what can I say? My man. Look at me. Look at me when I'm talking to you. Should I do the invocation anyway? Let's do it anyway. His eyes are always on the PP. I know that's right. Do you think he'll care? You know what? He hooked me. This is the least he can let me do is this invocation. Oh, let's finish where I left off. That's why she has kids. I know that's right. He hooked me. The least he can let me do is do this invocation. No! You hooked me! Look what you did! You hooked me! Look what you did! You hooked me! You hooked me! I had to do the invocation! Go! Get out! Go! Get out of my basement! No, this is my basement now! It's my basement! Get out! Hey, you hooked me! I did what you did! No! You! Yeah! No! You go! Go! My basement now! Get out! Get the hell out of here! Let me do my witchcraft! Oh. I'm not leaving. He's gonna come back down here? Oh, good. Yeah, I'm not. Mine. My basement. I love and hate it. This is so weird. Oh, the clip worked! Video call your mans? No, video call him. No one's a sim. This Oni hooked me after I did exactly what he asked. I'm not playing games anymore. Oh, it's on. Wait, watch this. We're having a whole conversation. Oni wanted to kill me? After all I've done, I literally stopped my... Are you so serious? Let me go get this girl. He has no idea, does he? He has no clue. Oh, they already got her? Flap! If you think she should suffer. Hey, hey. Hey, how you doing? Ooh, I like this outfit. GG. Hey, hey. Hi, Julian, welcome in. How are you? Welcome in, welcome in. Hey, go somewhere else. No, please, Mr. Oni, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean any of the things I said. Puta, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it, I promise. Our games, we tried negotiating with the Oni, and I'm not gonna lie, it worked for a little bit. But then he turned his back on me, so I did my magic. Okay, I had to do what I had to do. A little Cynthia Revo magic on him. I hope everyone in the chat is doing good, but Leon, I hope your Monday was good. I hope work wasn't too stressful. Run, Gabby, run! And now we're on the hook for the second time. But we have one gen left, so I think, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna say this was a good Weaving Spider success. Is that so wrong? Too off with that assessment? I think this is a great use of Weaving Spiders. Like, did we or did we not get 4 gens? You know, he's gonna come right back because he's mad at me. So I'm just gonna be nice and walk this way and look for a generator. Which, did they finish that one up there? Yeah, they did. Oh, okay, I can run now. Gas pump? I think I'm gonna sacrifice myself for the randoms. Also, what are the odds that this is an Oni fighting us? Never. No! Oni! I thought we were friends. I thought we were business partners. How could you do this to me? How could you? Fox, happy 3 months! Enjoy your sub badges! Everyone, I have sub badges. They are DVD and Pokemon Legends themed. So, yeah. If you're one of the lucky ones with the sub, I hope you enjoy your badges. After, when you get your 5-month sub, it's a brand new badge, so I hope you enjoy it. Good job, Oni. Good job. GG's. What do we get to have for a 9-month sub? A baby? Well, I've already have a few Twitch babies with some people here in chat. I think Kevin and I have a Twitch baby. And honestly, I don't know who else. I think it's just Kevin. But I have Twitch babies with other people that have subbed for 9 months. Oh, so always getting knocked up. What can I say? What can I say? Not always. Just every 9 months. Okay, I still like the build, but I think I miss my med kit over the toolbox. I feel like the toolbox isn't worth. Vox, how was your day today? How was work? How was all of your yoga and meditation? I'm gonna try something real quick. Oh my god, and Wolfie! I don't see you playing with Justin. Vox and I actually played last week. And what were you doing, Wolfie? And what were you doing? Let's think about that. You ghosted Justin yesterday? I don't see him on right now. Yeah. How are you, Wolfie? Wolfie, get your check-in. We have check-ins in here. Get your check-in. Let's see something real quick, and then I'm gonna go to Vox check-in. Oh, the way I thought Vox already checked in is crazy. I wish I was first. I wasn't online yesterday, so he's like, and how did you see me if I wasn't there? Huh? Huh? And what are you talking about? That's what he said. That's what Wolfie said. Ah, no, it's not gonna work. Alright, let's get back to the event. Let's get our huge BP farm. Wolfie, how was your day today? I hope you had a great day. Did you stream today? Did you stream today? What? Do you have a stream schedule, Wolfie, or do you just try to stream when you can? I love this song. You were thick today. I hope you feel better, friend. What's wrong? You have a stuffy nose? Get your cough medicine. Get your Vicks. Ponte Vicks. That's how my grandma talks. Ponte Vicks. You'll feel so much better after that. Stuffy nose and dry cough. Excellent. Ponte Vicks. Ponte Vicks. Does this mean you're joining us? Oh, we have a TTV. Also, if you're not already following Wolfie, make sure you get Wolfie a follow. El Wolfie, if you're nasty. Which for the longest time I thought was 3-0 Wolfie, and I was like, and what'd that mean? Thank you for the TTV, Momo. You're incredible. How's your dinner? Tell me what you're eating. So we went out to brunch this morning. And I had a mushroom like Florentine omelet. It was so good, but it was so much food. And then the restaurant we were at was like this like hash cake. And that is back out, baby. I am on. Oh, let me run this one, and I might just open lobbies then. Let's do it. You getting on right now? Yes. Well, yeah. Dumplings and fried rice? Ooh. I took that vitamin D. Oh. Did you now? Did you now? I'm here pull up. Don't you see me on your list? That sounds good. The omelet was good. So I didn't finish it, so I brought it to work with me, and then I warmed it up when I got home. And I ate that before stream and it was so good. But dumplings and fried rice in my mouth now, quickly. I'm gonna open lobbies then. If people want to play, we can open lobbies. All right, let's see if they'll appreciate weaving spiders and Mimi. Oh, let's go find Elodie actually and bring her to the basement. Oh, it's a Wesker. Dude, the number of Weskers that have been playing. I've seen so many. Oh, Elodie! Hey, Elodie, come here! I know you're TTV. Come here. Elodie! Hey! Hey, Elodie! Elodie! Come back! I'm not. I need to know how. Hey, come here, Elodie. Hey, no, you. Come here. Right there. Oh. I don't know where Elodie went, but I need to steal her. Elodie, where are you? Elodie, did you come over this way? Oh, no, that's not. You're not Elodie. What did you do, Elodie? Big spot? No. There's enough space for everybody. Elodie, I hope you see this. Where's the basement? Okay, I guess it's not in here. Right? It would have been in this building, right? So I guess it's a shack. I wanted Elodie to come to the invocation with me, but I'm gonna go do it myself. Elodie is working on a gen somewhere. Oh, he's not far from me, unfortunately. Okay, let's take a sit. Weaving spiders. Yes. Escuchas las palabras de las brujas. I don't know the rest of it. Yes. Look at all that blood spilling from the top. Yes. I hope Elodie knows this is for her. For Elodie! For Mimi Dolphin! Damn! Meg! Don't be so serious. Megan? Megan, I'm coming! Okay, maybe not. Damn. It'd be like that. I'm so sorry. My head keeps turning. Stop saying my government. What do you mean? Oh. Megan. That's the back of his head. Oh, the way I didn't even know that was your name, Dabs. Megan. That's the back of his head, friend. Yes, Megan, I know I see you. Come on, come on. Yes, I see you, I see you. Hi. You like my toes? Come on, Megan. Here, I got you, friend. Here, I can heal you right here. Wait, let me heal you first. Oh, you can't be healed. Yeah, let me heal you first. You're on death, friend. Oh, hell no. Oh, he didn't see us. Oh my god. Incredible luck. Yeah, you go focus on that. Does he see me? Oh my god, he sees me. Oh! What? I thought I... What is happening right now? Oh, did he get him? Nice. Way to take that hit. It's okay. Run. Okay, Meg. You go in there. Megan. 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 Now we know Wolfie's in your lobby. No, literally. Literally, Like, bitch, what? Oh, he's tunneling me? No, why is he on her? Leave my girl alone. Oh, do I just get his sickness when he hits me? That's new. Is that an add-on that he has? Interesting. We're gonna open up lobbies after this for sure. I don't think he would have known where I was if I didn't run the last time. Oh no. Nice, good try.
Is that the best you've got?
Puta. Wesker can't catch this with me. Wolfie. Qué malo. No hables así. Hi Wesker, it was great meeting you. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to my channel. Wesker just kicked my ass. Maybe weaving spiders isn't. Also, I'm low-key just having a silly goofy time. I hope Elodie understands. What was her name anyway? Mimi? Mimi Dolphin. Oh my god, yes, they're live. Let's go hi. Let's go say hi. Also, okay, lobbies are open. Lobbies are open. Oh, it's followers only. Alright, well, GG's to Mimi Dolphin. If you want to go follow them, go right ahead. I will not be, and it's no shade. I don't want to commit. I don't want to commit just yet. I don't really know that. We're gonna mind our business. GG's to them, though. GG's to them. Lobbies are open for anybody who wants to play. Wolfie, do you want to play? Who wants to play with Justin? We'll do 2 games per lobby unless no one's here, and then we can just stay with the group until somebody else comes in. There you go, Wolfie. Anybody else want to join? We're doing open lobbies. Period. Let's make this. All right, let's go. We got a lobby. Got a little lobby. We got a little lobby. A little lobby. Open lobbies for those who celebrate. Everyone's welcome. If you have a DVD account, please, I welcome you to come play. Would love that. Love that for us. Love that for us.
Okay, Robin. Calm down. Breathe.
We got this. We totally got this. Right, guys? We got this. I believe in us. I have faith. BRB. Wolfie, other than being sick, how's your weekend? Oh, I hope so. Oh, not the threats. Wolfie said, check your lipstick before you come. Wolfie said, brush your hair. We need some Naomi Smalls quotes up in this piece, because she's another one. I'm obsessed with her voice notes, like her vocal stunts, yeah. Starting the new week. Okay, good. I'm glad. I hope all your like recovery is going well and like your ET. I'm glad you're like at the other side of that. It's so crazy to think that I met you while you were sort of like in the middle of it. And we've known each other like for so long now. I'm just happy you're better. I hope whoever put the stealth cake gets tunneled out. And that's the tea. Okay. To the basement I go. BRB. It's a spring trap, by the way. Hey! Hey! No! I'm busy! No! Go! I need you. Spring trap. I was busy. Okay? I'm taking that shit off. It takes too long. I have taken that shit off. This is the second time. I don't want to talk about it. I'm not gonna even fucking use it. I'm just gonna go for the fucking gens and play like I'm supposed to. Ew. No! I should have known better. Why are you tunneling, you freak of nature? We're at 4 gen. Why am I getting tunneled? Now, how did I get brought up into this? Oh, we need so many sounds. I'm gonna start having to write these down. Like, get these ideas during stream. And then I can add them. I'm gonna stand right here, you fucking horny bitch. We in the ghetto. Oh, clock that T, spring trap. Ooh, you better work on the tunnel. Tunneling. Ooh, we love it. Yes. Ooh, yes. GG's. I'm gonna come up with all these fucking sound alerts while you guys. Yeah. Good luck, guys. You got that? You got this? The loop? I know you guys got it, Box. Box and Wolfie? Ooh, that was rough. Was it? I didn't really work hard. That feels like it didn't count. I was barely there. I'm taking the weaving. First of all, I'm taking weaving spiders the fuck off, by the way, because this has been nothing but bad luck. And I'm putting on do no harm, and I'm gonna be hella altruistic and run around the map like a freak. Because I'm better than this. Me trying to use weaving spiders like a freak. Hopping in with the audio, how our matches. Just got tunneled out. Oh, not the caps. I don't mean to scream. Just got tunneled out by Springtrap at 5 gens. Well, I guess it was 3 gens. I'm gonna say 5 gens. How about you? I didn't even want to be. I didn't even want to watch y'all go through that. I can't. Cannot be bothered. There was another one. Oh, not on my watch, right, Monte? Monte, we're playing with Wolfie and Vox. If you want to join in, it was the shorts. Yeah, he couldn't take the fit. He couldn't take the toes. He was like, "Oh my god, Gabe's toes are out. I have to tunnel him. I have to see those toes in the sky." That's what he said. He was like, "Those toes need to be in the air." Monte, if you want to join, I have open lobbies now, so the lobbies are open. If you'd like to join, we're just gonna rotate people in and out, but I know Vox and Wolfie were like, "Let's play." So the lobbies are now open. Look with peer pressure. What can I say? Which sound alert? They're not on my watch. Here, I might add some now if I can. Sure. I am signed in. Which one? Which one, Monte? No. Yeah, I'm gonna look for that one right now. Added. I did it just for you, Monte. You see how fast I work? I work quick. I work fast. Yeah, I have to work on those other ones. Okay, good to know. Maybe I'll get up and play with more. Ciao, I'm in bed. No, but come in. I got that sound alert just for you. Come play. Play a few games with little old me. I didn't even hear it. I know you're lying. I heard it. Yeah, I do. I do.
Not on my watch.
Did you hear it that time? Here you go. There you go. Excuse me. Oh my god, I'm choking. I'm gonna die. I'll join. Thank you. Okay. I'm glad. I hope they're doing okay. How are you guys? Wolfie, Vox, if you can hear me. How's it going? You going okay? Do you need snacks? Do you need drinks? Oh, God, you guys keep me young. Me and Monte will hang out here in the lobby. I know they're going through it. I mean, if that guy tunneled me, I can only imagine. So, how's the weather? How's the weather? How's it going? You guys okay over there? That one's fun. Oh. Damn, those toads are just barking at me. Aren't they so cute? Look at our little guy. He is just so fine. I cannot. I can look at Gabe all day. This is why we need a shirtless one. You unlock something in me.
Yup.
Let me see you. I just wanna. What? That horse? Period. Did y'all make it out? Did y'all make it out? I cannot believe it. I cannot believe. Third in the voting? Period. I know that's right. Hi Momo, we're doing open lobbies. We're gonna reset. This is it. We're starting on game 1 over again. But if anyone could outlast this spring trap, it was Wolfie and Box. I had no hesitation. So, ¿qué pasó? You tell me. He tunneled me. I don't know what to tell you. I wasn't gonna run away. I was writing something down. I was in the middle of my note. Interesting. Well, yo, you needed a warm up. I've been here for an hour and 20 minutes. I think you needed a warm up. Oh, so you gave up. I wouldn't say gave up. I was working on something for you specifically, Monte. If anything, I was trying to give back. Your heart wasn't it? No, it just wasn't for me. I was trying to get the invocation done. The invocation I wasn't really feeling it. You know, it really be like that. Not me blaming Monte. It's okay. Y'all needed a warm up. I don't know. I had a brain fart. I wasn't ready. I really wasn't. I wasn't invested. I felt like we needed a practice round, and I had other stuff to do all over me and still finish all good. And you know what, Wolfie? And that's why you're El Wolfie, and I'm just in case you forgot. I pressed the wrong button 3 times, by the way. Spring trap had nothing on you. Not a spring nor a trap. Box in the random shade. Oh, did you die? Oh my god. I'm sorry, Wolfie. This is the game though. We're gonna start over. Oh, so now the loops want to come out. I had elusive. Oh, period. Yeah, I'm on my real build now. Like this is who I'm supposed to be. Okay? I'm not an invocation kind of guy. Okay? I don't have time for that. I need to get on gens. I need to start working. Okay? And so I think we've learned our lesson. We're not playing games anymore. That's it. Also, Vox carried and Wolfie was just running around. Hello? That's what it sounds like to me. Monte, that's what it sounds like to me. That's what it sounds like to me. I was locked in after Justin didn't participate. I was trying to do my witchcraft and he wouldn't let me. How was that my fault? So me and the rando who essentially could run without scratch marks. Oh, period. Girl, I mean, I know my truth, Wolfie. I know my truth. I know what my truth is, and giving up was just not in my fantasy. Okay, it wasn't Springtrap. It wasn't in the fantasy for me. Okay, I had to remove myself from the situation, or have Springtrap do it for me, and whatever. What can I say? I'm a man of the people. I had to even give back to Springtrap. But this is the one. We're starting this is game 1 with this group. Now that we have Monte, now it feels right. I think I was just needing Monte here, and now it feels correct. You know? Like, love playing with Vox, love playing with Wolfie, love playing with Monte, but then we needed the 4 of us together. The power of friendship to really lock in. Okay? Starting over? Yeah, so this is match 1 of 2. He will do loops. Yeah. Monte will handle it. Why do I still have weaving spiders? Let's talk about it. I was too busy. Spicy bones. Let me get that. Oh, that's Doctor. Spicy, spicy bones. Rub those bones. Rub those bones. Yeah, Momo, you know, I got that. I got that. I got that. I got that. So when I said I wanted to take it off, I was fighting for my life in the chat. Okay. Oh, perfect.
Just vote.
Just vote. Just vote.
I know I'm gonna be out, so just vote.
We'll try again. Momo, how was your dinner? What kind of dumplings were you eating? Yeah, walk away, Mr. Doctor. I'll be right there, Monte. Give me... actually, let me get you first. There you go with the witchcraft. Don't. I don't want to talk about it. Let me get you first. You know what? I'm coming. Why is he coming back over here? Here, I'm gonna go back to my little witchcraft. Let me go sacrifice my goat. I'll be back. I was almost done. Chicken and veggie dumplings? Ooh, okay, okay. Did you make them, like, were they, like, frozen from somewhere? Or did you make them from scratch? Or did you order, like, takeout or something? Alright, there you go. I did my witchcraft. Happy? I ordered in. Ooh, so you have a spot. So you have a spot. Well, next time we need a picture. Don't hold back. Share with the class. Oop, clock my shit, Justin. You didn't share. I'll remember this. I will remember this. Oh. He wants me. He wants me, I fear. It's okay. I stunned him. No! That's fine. Wolfie, remember when you said you were gonna be a gen jockey? What happened? What happened, friend? What happened? I did the gen. Right. They all screamed in unison. It's crazy. Just vote. Box, run for your life. Here comes Wolfie. Hi. Hey, friend. Hi. Wow, you look so good in your cardigan. Don't shake your head at me. Harry Potter glasses and all. Let's go. We have a gen to complete. After I spill half the blood. Okay, good. It's okay, Wolfie. I trust you with my life. I know you're doing it for the. You're doing what's right for the group. Trust. Let me work on the gens, friend. This is my destiny. I'm dead. Well, guys, let's be so serious. Hey, Mickey, what's up? Oh, that was hot and sexy. I couldn't even freaking vault the window, guys. Why didn't it let me vault the window? Hi, Miggy, what's up? Welcome in. We're doing open lobbies. We're running 2 matches per group. Guys, I'm getting tunneled again. I don't like it. That's not true. I'm not getting tunneled actually this time. Not at all. That gen had some progress on it. Chilling. Ooh, what was for dinner? What'd you eat? Honestly, we just started open lobbies. The last game was a sham. It doesn't count. I don't want to talk about it. Song? What song? Oh, Sonic? Ooh, okay, what's your Sonic order? I haven't had Sonic in a minute. Well, if you come here, I can just heal you quick. Actually, I can heal you. Yeah. Here, let me heal you. Oh. That's fine. Wolfie! Well, GG's. A bacon burger. Ooh,
Have you ever had a Krispy Kreme?
Dead again, Justin.
Krispy Kreme? Was it crispy?
Dead again. Look, I didn't promise incredible
Right.
gameplay, okay? I did not promise that. I promised 5. I'm the funny one, okay? They're supposed to be good at the game. I'm supposed to laugh, okay? I don't know what happened. I don't think I did anything wrong this match, honestly. I don't think I did anything wrong. I did everything I was supposed to. I'm taking Weeping Wave Spiders off, I promise. Girl, you threw yourself a big alert. I thought I still had, whatchamacallit? I thought I still had a chance, you know? I didn't want Wolfie to die. I didn't want Wolfie to die. Oh! Fox said, I don't want to play. I didn't want Wolfie to die. I thought I was being altruistic. Sorry. I won't next time. Fuck Wolfie. I won't next time. I won't. Fine. You know what? You're right. We'll just let Wolfie die. You want to talk about it? I didn't. You guys. I didn't want to talk about anything. You guys were want to bring it up. You guys were bringing it up. I don't want to talk about it. You guys are the ones talking about it. I know it's good for us. I literally laughed it off. We're gonna go with inner strength, I suppose, and just heal. Just vote. I know it's fine. I see how it is. 4v1. 4v1. The Doctor, me, Box, and Monte against Wolfie. Well, yes. Exactly. I was fine. I mean, look, I'm just here to look hot, sexy. I mean, and I bring it to you every ball, every time. Look at the material. I don't know what to tell you. I'm half naked. What more can I say? My feet are out. What more do you want from me? Mickey with the check-in. All right, we're gonna reset after this match, and if a new lobby wants to play, Mickey, Momo, now that you're done with dinner, you want to play, the lobby will be open again for new peeps, and then we'll bring repeaters back if people want to keep playing. I love this emote. It's literally my favorite thing. I'll rotate out next. Yeah. I'm gonna rotate everybody out, and we'll see if more people want to play, and then we'll get people back in. Am I being asked to play? Yeah, come play. Yes, let's do it. Open lobbies. Two matches is perfect, Momo. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking is for 2 matches. I'd be honored to be to be a sandbag. You're the carry. What are you talking about, Mickey? Hello. Sorry, guys. I'm in a slowly goofy mood. I was sweating all weekend. I was sweating in this game all weekend. Am I allowed to have some fun every once in a while? Be honest. Oh, I just smacked my mic.
On my watch.
I've seen better days, that's for sure.
I have to watch that later. I need to win. Okay. I know, you're right. You're right. You got out of bed for me, and I understand how hard that is. Trust. Girl, I suck sometimes, and lately I've just been getting plugged and tunneled. Friend, I just want to talk to you about a man named Springtrap. Monte needs the win. I know. Okay. You're right. For Monte. If for no one else, for Monte. If you're about to go down, go in the locker, please, and thank you. Okay, head on. Apply directly to your forehead. Apply directly to your forehead. I have a burger finger. Period. We all have a burger finger. Ew, I don't want to know about your burger finger. Momo, what are you clipping?
Yup.
Dude, the sound alerts are too good. Guys, if you don't want to come be here for me, be here for the sound alerts at least. Nina, I want the extended cut. That was not long enough, not nearly. Oh, I like this map. There's gonna be a blood gen, so let's get a gas tank, right? It's a ghost face. El me vio. Hey boy. Here he comes. He's looking at me. He's stalking me. Oh, he's on Monte. Monte, where'd you come from? How did he get on you? Monte. I need a gas tank. I cannot be bothered. Monte's like, Justin, stop it. Head on. Apply directly to the forehead. I'm only here for sound alerts, honestly. Monte, lie. You lied. Be honest. Tell the truth. You like it because of me. Me too. Trust. I know why you're really here. Fine. You know what? You're right. As long as I have sound alert. Oh, here he comes. Nosy ass Ghostface. Hey! Tattooed in your mind. I don't know why I can't remember the last time I saw that commercial, but I know it by heart. That's incredible marketing. Mindbreaker is gross. Yeah, Monte, I'm sorry about that hook, but I thought he was stalking me. I don't know what happened. Oh, that's happening right over there. Is there a closer gas pump? Yes, there is. Over here. Oh, that's another freaking gen. Dude, the gas pumps are so far from everything. Like, why is it over here? There has to be a closer one I can't see, right? Good job, Vox. Way to get away. But now they're on Monte. Well, that's not. Back on Box. Monte, I'm in main. Oh my god, so are you guys. Never mind. Don't mind me, just carrying some blood upstairs. Monte, if you need some heals, I gotcha. Hi. Hey, girl. I got you. There. There. I know. There you go. Oh, hey. I think that gen's done with Vox, so I'm gonna go out here. Or is this where chase is happening? There has to be a gas pump out here, because, like, what? I'm gonna do this gen. Wolfie is eating him up. Oh, there's just a body. Oh, there's Fox. There is a gas pump on there, isn't there? I think that's where Fox is. Oh, I'm horrible at the game. I didn't mean to touch that. Monte. What's going on over there? It's best I stay in my own business. Oh, he's off them. Oh, there he is. There's Wolfie. He was over there. Is that Monte again? I saw him through there. I didn't see Monte though. Oh, he broke the gen. I think it's close to finish. I think whoever gets it to it next. Fox or Wolfie? You guys need me to get on that? Oh no, they're being chased. Okay, I'm gonna fix this first. No, puta! I'm dead, methinks. I'm dead. Oh, I'm dead. Monte, I did as you said. Oh, GG. Monte, I did what you asked. I died near a locker. He's still on me. I can hear his little, yep. I can hear his robe. He's, yeah, he's behind you, Wolfie. He's behind you. Fox sees him. Yeah, he's on Bob. You can 99 me, Monse.
Have you ever had a
Hi,
Krispy
Cosmos.
Kreme? Have you ever gone to Krispy
Yeah.
Kreme? Was it
Welcome
crispy?
in.
No.
Yeah, right. Right.
How are you? Cosmosis, we're doing open lobbies and we're about to reset this. I think we'll have an open spot for a new group, so if you want to join in, now's the time. Now is the time. How are you doing? How are you? Where have you been? Where you been, Loca? How have you been? Oh, aquí viene. I will not be called dead. Oh. I got scared. I don't want to die. I feel bad. I've been really goofy, and you know my team. They want to win. I have to lock in. I feel bad now for laughing. God. Hey girl, hey. I'm being a toxico killer right now. Yeah, but come play with me and be a toxico survivor, please. Please. Won't you please? Oh, there's Monte. Oh, here comes Ghostface. Monte, where are you? Monte. Should I go get Vox? I don't know where Monte went. I'm gonna go get Vox. Do the blood gens? Okay. Where is he? Oh, are you? He vaults like a freak. I didn't mean to even do that. Oh. I didn't realize I was mending you, I'm sorry. Hi Ronnie, watching hockey with the boy. Ooh. I hope you have a good hockey day. Yes, we're having a great stream. Thank you for the check-in. I appreciate you're here, friend. Thank you for the check-in, Ronnie. Tell Omar I said hi. Enjoy your hockey date. Is that gen still not done? No, it's done. Ben. Oh, no. Nice. Wolfie, you don't want me to heal you? I can heal you. We'll be putting the C4 as great debut. W Boy Aquarium. Boy Aquarium. Oh. Hi, bye, Ronnie. Rhea. We need to get away from here. I don't like that. It's okay. I want to get back on that gen. Oh, it's blocked. Oh, because he's right on it. Fucking aggro. Do I just go back for hook? If y'all don't get this gen done, I know, I'm sorry. We need to move on. This gen is not worth it. It's too close to the chase. I'm gonna move on. I'm going over here. Oh my god, why is he after you for the kill? Fuck off. Fuck all the way off. No, fuck off. Fuck off. Monte, I'm coming. Nice. Go, go, go. I'm not gonna let you down, so just go. Hey, yo, no. Are you gonna try to get it? Oh, you're gonna get mended? I don't want you to die. ¿Qué bobo? Ah, bobo. No sabía, bobo. ¿Cómo está aquí, bobo? Yeah, I'm gonna go get. He's right over there. Oh, he left me. Not on Monte. Where are you, Wolfie? Wolfie. Go, Wolfie, Wolfie. Come here. Monte, if you have to get out, get out. Monte, just get out. Please. I don't want you to die. Which door is open even? I don't even know what door we're on. Is it that one over there? Now where's the door? Over here. Box left. Box said, see ya. Hi. See ya. Hey, 10 up. Hey, 10 up. Hey, 10 up. Hey, 10 up. That was for you, Monte. I didn't want to disappoint you. I felt a lot of pressure. I was like, we're doing these gens. No one's dying today. And I was like, I'm going to chase Monte down. They can work on the gen. Monte's not going to die. I felt bad. Okay, like, we ate him up. What can I say? Y'all ate him up. I didn't know what was happening. For that first half of the match, I was like, they're having their own little fun over there. I'm going to stay out of their way. I'm going to work on the gens like a good boy. But then I couldn't get that gen done. And Bob was like, can you do the fucking blood gen, please? I'm sorry. I'm glad we got games in. Thank you guys for playing. Thank you so much. I'm gonna leave the party. We'll get a new round in open lobbies. If you guys want to play, stick around and you guys can join up the next ones. But it was fun. Monte, I'm glad you got out of bed for that. I hope it was worth it. I hope it was worth it. Time for mama to rest. Okay, Monte. I hope you have a good sleep. Thank you for getting back on for me. I appreciate you. I hope you had such a good fun time with me, even though it was silly goofy. Momo, do you have Miggy as a friend? Thank you for finally inviting me. Wolfie, I literally have a clip with you that was iconic. So don't play. But yes, I'm glad you're here to play, and I hope you stick around and join up in lobbies later. Nobody has me. Miggy. Does anybody? I was like, does anybody have Miggy's Exactly, Wolfie. And you ate up in that game too. against the ghoul. Yeah, if you want to add it, it's in the pinned. If you want to add me, it's in my pinned message. Exclamation point DVD. And you just copy paste. Copy paste. He walked right into my flashlight. He walked right into my flashlight 10 times. Vox, thank you too for playing always. Vox, you have to come visit my island. We've made some improvements now that I can play. Okay, I was a nice killer. You know, I'm glad. I'm glad you turned around. Finally played with me to Justin to get. Sometimes you need a little extra Justin, right? Iggy Bobby Brown, I live.
난 분명 살 수 없었는데 어떻게 된 거지?
This is not the upside down.
I live. Okay, Cosmos, now that you're a nice killer, I needed to break pallets, period. Do you want to come join? Anybody want to come join? We have one spot left. Otherwise, we'll open it up to Vox or Wolfie, whoever wants to come in. No, literally, Miggy, your name is crazy. It's iconic. Go, Monte, go. Monte's like, Hunkshu, Hunkshu. I'm already off and playing OW. Okay, period. Take Monte. Monte ain't even here. Monte said, Hunkshu, Hunkshu. I'm going to bed. OW? Ew. Monte can go. Monte's not even here. Monte's not even here. All right, we're gonna open it up. Cosmosis, if you don't wanna join in, we'll have to go. But I hope you have a good rest of your stream, Icon. Oh my God, Star, thank you for hanging out. I hope you're not working too hard. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Take care of yourself and get some good sleep. There's Cosmosis. I knew you wouldn't let me down. I knew you wouldn't let me down. Request is no longer valid. Says who? Says who? Good night, Stargazer. The Stargazer. The one and only Stargazer. We're gonna work them. We're gonna workshop them. We'll get one. We'll get a new name for you. There's Cosmosis. There's Cosmosis. There he is. Yeah, have a great night. Have a great night, Star. Alright, guys. We gotta run it back, okay? We just got out with the last group. Gotta run it back with this group, okay? We did have a warm-up game. Maybe a few warm-up games. But I think we got this. I'm confident. This is my warm-up game. Yeah, exactly. It's low-key my warm-up game. My nose is itchy. I'm running deja vu. Desperate measures built to last in solidarity. Solidarity, period. Okay, okay, okay. I am running resilient. So 99 me if possible. Everyone 99 me. Don't be afraid. I have a med kit. Just 99 me. I'm running from the killer. Mickey's like, he's right behind me, isn't he? Very that. It's giving that. This song is good. Do you know? This is the last song on the album. Please, Mr. Killer, I want to be in the sequel. No, dead ass. We all want to be in the sequel. 100 ping, by the way, on the killer. Hey guys, okay, let's talk about this. Everybody ready? We got this. Another doctor? My turn. Oh, hey. Oh, Momo's and Chase. It is a doctor. Momo, run. Don't let him touch you. Momo. It's okay, Momo. I'll come get you. Oh, his thing. Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Y'all got this? I think so. I'm playing for real now. I can't be silly goofy yet. I get too distracted. Oh. Miggy, run. He had blood. He has blood favor. I'm gonna go for Hook. I think he has blood favor. Yeah. Blood flavor? He's gonna come right here, Momo, okay? Prepárate. We're gonna leave. Oh, he wants me. Oh, blood favor, I forgot. I am so bad at the game. Since when does doctor stop you from doing so? For some reason, I didn't know that. Am I blanking? Maybe I did know. I just don't remember. So we all took a hook. Oh, he has spicy bones. I found his bones. I might have to rub those bones. Yeah, I finished that gen. Convulsive. There you go. Miggy's on me. Miggy, I'm gonna rub his bones. Don't worry about healing me. I'm gonna get bones. You can go to another gen. Momo, por favor. If the bones ain't named Wolfie, we ain't rubbing them. Okay, Box, you tell him. Te cayó. No. Come. Oh, there you go. You can heal me. Yeah. I got scared. Feel free to 99, Mickey. 99. Oh, it's okay. I'm gonna go for, Hook. Momo, I'm coming! Oh, are we all going for Hook? Oh no, he saw Mickey. It's okay, Momo. We got you. There's a boon on at Shack. I'm gonna get away from Shack. I don't think we're gonna be able to do that. Jen. Oh, this one's almost. El. Oh. Tough pallet play. Oh, no, Mickey, run! Mickey, run, please. Oh, good try. Fine, fine, fine. I can hold this for a bit. I can hold it for a bit. I can hold it for a bit. No rush. No rush if you can't get me. Cosmos, since I'm gonna go to Momo. I'm going this way. Come, come, come. Did he leave you, Mickey? Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Okay. We are one gen away from, you know, victory. We got this. Oh, Mickey, please. Don't worry. Cosmo, since you got Mickey, go get Mickey for him. We'll go find another gen. He's not far. Oh, he's on you. Oh my god. Guys, I'm actually trash at the skill checks. Aquí viene, aquí viene, aquí viene. Go that way. Oh no. He's not happy with me. No, happy. Oh, he's going back to hook. Good reassurance. W reassurance. Oh, he's coming right the fuck back over here. Yeah, you thought. Oh, I hate you. Whiff, ho. Take a whiff. I got stuck on the snow. You didn't. You didn't, did you? You didn't. You didn't. Don't you tell me you did. How dare you? How very dare you? Finish the gen! Finish the gen! Mickey, finish the gen! Mickey, finish the gen! Mickey, did you really have 99 left on that gen because of the blood? I'm sick. That's sick and twisted. Mickey was so close. Oh, it blocked it? That's so nasty. Not the no ed. Oh no, you finished. Not the no ed. Now that's just not fun. Oh, we found no ed. We found no ed. W. Cosmo, since you got this easy. No ed was thick and twisted. It's okay. They have no ed right here. Oh, but here he comes to protect the bones. Yeah, just work on Mickey. He knows. No, Mickey, run! He has no head. Ooh, GG's. Good try, guys. The Noed takes us out again. Alright, next match. We got this next match. We were so close. Gens were finished. What can we say? What a bitch. What a bitch. What a bitch. Noed in 2026. Let's be so serious. I was so bad. Mickey, don't lie. Don't lie. You did fine. You did fine. We were doing so good. We were doing so good. We can't stop a Noed. Do or die. Me all the time. This time, man. Oh, I need himbo, David King. You do, honestly, yes. Vouch. What happened? This guy's driving a truck. What happened to him? Old technology. Whew. My nose itches. Old technology. Alright, guys, let's go. We got it this time. I'm confident. Oh, hey. But where are the blood pumps? Oh, it's a Legion. You don't say. Oh, yes. Yes. That's right. He lost his power, fucker. Bamboozle? Yep. Here's Bam Bam. Woo! Run, Justin, run! Oh, he's on Momo for some reason. For some odd reason, Momo is the new target. Oh. Ah! I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead. I'm dead! Guys! I was right on the pallet. No. Oh, you paranoid freak. You paranoid freak. No one has a flashlight, you freak. Oh. So what is that, hubris? He has hubris. And bamboozle. And what else? That means he has spicy bones somewhere. Yeah, do the gen. Don't worry about me. I got nervous there. I should have been able to take that chase. No. No. Good job. I was about to say he left them slugs. Oh, there was a gem back there, huh? I'm gonna try to go for save. We need to get some more progress done on something. Here's another thing with no gas tank. Like, there's no gas tank out here, huh? They're all in the front. They're all in the front, by the way. All the gas tanks are up here. Nice. Oh, here she comes. Oh, the Momo, I'm coming. Oh no. Okay, Mickey got you. I'm gonna work on a gen. There's 2 regular gens here. Spirit Fury on top of Hubris. Oh, we love to see it. Love to see it. I saw 1 set of bones. I didn't see another. Nice, Momo. So close. There's a gas tank back here. Actually. Momo, I can hear you if you come over here to this gen. He's coming, he's coming, he's coming. Let go. Why don't you come this way? No, Momo, don't be seen. Oh my god, he's on Momo. Nice! No. You got this. You got this. Are you running resilience too, Momo? Here, come here. What the fuck? Dude. How many pounds must we hit you with, old man? He's in his power. Oops. Just that by accident. He is in his power. What is going on? I think we're just gonna go for altruism here, huh? He's moving in on us. He's being so paranoid. I'm literally locked in. In case, you know, we're just gonna do progress. Even though Miggy's on a gen, it's almost done. I'm pretty confident we finish this. Cosmos, it's you and I. Oh, he's coming. We finished this here together. Nice, Cosmos, let's go. Miggy's almost done with one too. Miggy's almost done with the gen. Is it this one? Incredible. Miggy, I'm here. Miggy, let's do it. Okay. Cosmosis? No way. Momo, I'm coming over to you guys. No, Cosmosis! You weren't supposed to go out like this. running, guys. I'm running. Cosmosis, please. I'm here, guys. Don't worry, I made it. Hi. Whee! Cosmosis, this is for you. R.I.P. He wanted your pussy. Honestly, you know what? Oh. So you're a thief. GG's, guys. GG's. Mickey. Okay, we're gonna rotate lobbies, or actually, before we rotate, does anybody else want to join? We'll rotate probably one more time, and then we'll wrap up stream. GG's. Thank you for games. Well, thank you for being here. We're gonna rotate. Otherwise, y'all are more than welcome to stay in and play for the last two games. Anybody else want to join? Just join up. I think everybody in chat has pretty much played at this point, so if you want to play again, just join up. First 3 to come back in. Wolfie, if you're still here, lobbies are reopened. But yeah, if you want to play the last 2 games with me, feel free to request in. Mickey, Cosmosis, Momo. I just wanted to give everybody a chance if they wanted to get another game in. And then we'll end. After 2 more matches, we'll end stream. This was so much fun. I mean, DVD is just a lot of fun, and it's so much fun with friends. I'll join if there's space. Yeah, I think there's definitely gonna be space, so I'll totally invite you back. Where are you? There's Mickey. Bye. Momo, if you want back in, you are more than welcome to come in. Why you look familiar?
I do not belong here.
Cosmos, do you want to come in? Sure, you know who I am. Oh my god. Do you guys know each other? Be honest. Where do you guys know each other from? Be honest, be honest. Period. You're like, you know who I am? I'm all DVD'd out. Okay, Momo, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Oh my god, look at y'all. You guys know each other. Cosmos, do you want in for the last 2 games? Be honest. Can I invite you? We're doing 2 more games. I'm gonna invite you. Oh, period. See, this is exactly what I want. This is what we want to see. This is what we want to see. Period. Let's get you back in here, and then yeah, we'll play the last 2 with you 2. Thank you so much for playing, Momo. I'm glad we got some games in. It's okay to be DVD'd out. I totally get that. I just enjoy that you're here. Enjoy your company. You know what I mean? Come back. It was fun with the crew. I love being here. Momo, that means so much to me. You know how much that means to me. You don't know. It really does. And you know why? It's because I like being here too. I love being on Twitch with you guys. So it just makes everything so much better to just have friends here who can hang out with me and who want to hang out, you know? Momo, you're so sweet. All right, we're here. We're here, we're queer, and we're not going anywhere, okay? We got another TTV in chat. I forgot you're like up north or east coast. I'm in Milwaukee. I'm up in Milwaukee and you're in Texas, right? Right. Is that right? Yeah, we got a TTV in our game. I'm actually kind of famous. I love this song. Midwest girly with all the cows and cheese. I'm in the land of of dairy here. I'm from New York City, but I moved out here about 4 years ago. Needed a change. I needed to switch it up, if you know what I mean. Sometimes you just gotta get away. Oh, Houston. My best friend's from Houston. Well, right outside of Houston, I think. I'm not sure where exactly he's from. I'm trying to remember the city in Texas he's from, but it's like right outside of Houston. So not Houston, but close enough, I guess. You know, it's like one of those things. See, there's a gas pump here, but it's a regular generator. Like, are you serious? Oh, it's a trickster, by the way. Oh. He's better than me. Why are you shaking your head at me? The game just started. Why is he shaking his head at me? I don't want to die. The game just started. I want Leon to just... Oh, no. Leon's gonna die. Bad swing. Let's just go to the gen. I'm gonna go to the gen. Let's just go. Why did he come back to the hook? Like, why are you tunneling me at 5 gens, you freak? Like, ew. Ew, go away. That gen is so broken too now. Oh my god. You're so nasty. He doesn't even know where I'm at. This killer's gross. Yeah, he's kind of nasty. It's okay. I don't think he got enough hugs as a kid. He must not have. I don't think. Like, let's be so serious. He walked past so many gens with progress just to come chase me. There was 2 gens with progress he could have hit. And he came after me. Billy Billy. Yeah, Leon, you don't need to be fighting like that, right? I promise you don't need to be in a locker. To be Gabe in that crop top is just too hard for these killers to resist. Yeah, they just need to touch him. Leon included. Leon just gave me a dick slap. Hi. Whatever. I think it's the fit. He's not here for it. I'm gonna let you rock for a little bit, Cosmos. I'm sorry. I am so sorry, but we need to get this gentle. I want nothing to do with that. Alright, Cosmos, I'm coming. The way I'm on Death Hook is disgusting. Why he bully us? I have no idea. I think it's the new trickster, you know. It's like people want to just play as him and be the best at him, I guess. Where's that hook? Throwing that out. I had to give him some dick pats. There's a gen over here. Where's the gas tank? That's the question. Leon is looking for it. Somebody save Leon. I'm gonna finish that, Miggy. Hey. Pow, pow, bow, bow, bow. Hey. He's over there. Oh, I see him now. Alright, well. He's right there. I don't know where these gens are. Oh, he's on Leon. Get the gen done, Cosmosis. Where's this gen in chat? Go, Miggy, go. Go, Miggy, go. Hey, yo, Leon. Oh. Kid. I had to give Leon a kiss, guys. Why he bully us? I gave Leon a kiss at the pallet, at Shack pallet. How romantic. And he had adrenaline, W. I didn't even have to go heal him. Oh, he's here. Oh, he's just over here. Mickey, run. Oh no. We need to get door. I'm gonna go for door. Cosmosis, you might have to go sit. Oh! Oh, it's no way out. Oh, it's no way out. Oh, it's no way out. Oh. Oh. Oh, it's like that. Oh, it's like that. Oh. Now where's this? Now where's the totem? It's no way out. It's no way out. Find the totem. Or wait it out. Never. I got you. Do not come to the door, Leon, please, whatever you do. No, no, Mickey! Where are you guys? Are you guys just on hook? No, Mickey! Just go, Cosmosis, it's fine. Just go, I'm gonna heal, and I'll be okay. I am gonna get out, I'm gonna get out. Mickey, we tried! I'm sorry, friend. Cosmosis, just go! Salte! W in a strength, we love to see it. Literally. Nice, way to go. Bye! Bye, Trickster! That's for Miggy. And that is for Miggy. And that's for Miggy. If only I had a gun. I got out crawling, period, Cosmosis. And that's for Miggy. Miggy, if you had a gun, you'd be like this. Y punto. Period. We love inner strength. Ra-ta-ta-ta. Alright, last game, best game. That was fun. What was this guy's name? Was he live? Hydra the Bomb? That is a crazy name. Hydra the Bomb. He's not live, but he's real. He's a Carlos main, playing as Leon. GG's to the Leon. You know what? We couldn't have done it without him. But doesn't matter, let me tell you. Alright guys, last game, best game, okay? We are gonna be so good. Wolfie, do you want in on the last game? You're more than welcome to join. We do have a spot open for last game. If anybody wants to join, this will be the last one. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. It is the last game of the night. If anybody wants in for the last game, now's the time to speak up. Up. To speak up. No. Alright, I'm gonna ready up then. We do got to play more. Yes, well, I got to head out. Yeah. Momo! Oh, what have I done to deserve this? Yes, for last. No, yes, Wolfie, I do want to play more. I know I was silly goofy today, but you know how I am. You know I can play. You know I can hold my own. Today I was just being silly goofy. It's Monday night. You know what I mean? But yes, I will. I mean, definitely in your stream, or if I see you off stream, I'll just randomly invite, like he stayed to. I won't be scared. I'll just do it, and if you reject me, just know I'm crying, sobbing, even weeping. Have a good night, Wolfie. Thank you for coming. I'm glad we got games in. I'm glad we got. Oh, weeping, tears of blood, even. I love this song. Thank you for games. Good night. Good night, Wolfie. Good night, sweet dreams, lobito mío. Vete a dormir or cualquier cosa que vas a hacer. And enjoy the rest of your night. Hit your Z's. We've listened to this album on a loop, I think, 3 times tonight. Swag out, bleed. I want sex, money, bitches, and the sticky. I want the rain. Oh, I ripped out my headset. My furry Valentine. That song is iconic. Slater Drag Show? Oh my god. What? This album, the Slater album has been... Yup. Oh. Oh, I wasn't even near it. I wasn't even near it. Oh, I'm dead. Big whiff. Can I get a whiff? I was past it, dude. In my chancla. Oh, hey. Hey, Cosmosis. Oh, I hate you. Oh. How do I look? How do I look on that hook? How do I look? That's how I feel. Yeah, okay, I have to go listen to the Ray album per Momo's request too. And Cosmosis is vouching for it too. My best friend vouched for it, so we're gonna have to go give that a listen. Ryan, how was your stream? How were your games tonight? We missed you. We missed you. Oh. No, don't touch me there. That is my no-no square. Ryan, how are your games? Be honest. I'm gonna try to send you that clip tonight. By the way. I'm just gonna send you the length of the game, of the match. God, he's ugly. Oh, it's really over there. That is so unfortunate. Is there a Jen and Shaq? Oh, he went after Momo? Oh, they... Why are you tunneling on the hook? No, Momo. Big whiff. Big whiff. I heard that. I heard him take out his little whip. Okay, I'm gonna go to this one. It was fun. They were sick in the beginning, but fun toward the end. Okay, I'm having the same experience. Our first few games were sick and twisted, friend. This time. Yeah. That would describe the first few games we played. Yes. I can agree, but we've had some fun games here at the end. This is our last game. You're here just in time. Why is he being weird, Momo? What did you do to him? Be honest. Did you take his lunch money? Oh, just immediately saving. Love that for us. Momo, I'm right here. He doesn't want anything to do with me. Or the gen I just finished. Let's get strength value. Momo, please be careful. You're on death. Oh! So he's just tunneling you. Got it. Love that for us. Momo, I'm coming. Yes, save Momo. Operation save Momo. No. He's going back. Here, I can heal you if you want. I can heal you. Pick Mickey. Pick Mickey. No, Momo! No. I'm gonna fucking die, guys. This is not a drill. Why is this so far from the gas tank? Oh, he said, I'm getting my kill no matter what. Well, at this rate... Right there. It's going right back to hook. No!
Soon.
Oh, so close! Guys, where are the gens? You know what? That was totally my fault. What do you mean? You did so good. You stabbed with the hook. You tried for the save. He must have agitation. Guys, wiggling matters not. Like, it does not matter. Wiggling is not worth it at all. Make it worth it, behavior, please. I promise. Make it worth it. This game would be so much fun if we could wiggle free. Like, you're just gonna chase us anyway. Like, just let me get off out of the killer's hands, you know? Like, you know what I mean? Why was my bar so full and I could not get off? He's gonna tunnel. He's gonna slug. Oh, pick. Good job, Miggy. Good try. Watch this. Hit me, you won't. Hit me, you won't. Oh, fucking bitch. I didn't mean to do that. Boo! 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 Well, like, I guess, I don't know what he's doing over there. GG is. He got his 4K. I hope he's happy. Boo! Tomato! Tomato! Throw tomatoes at him. I want to hide here, actually. GG is. I know we were trying so hard. No, he was on a mission. He got his 4K. I mean, clap if you think he should suffer, because I know I do. He doesn't even know where I'm at. He just wants to kill me. He literally went to hook Cosmosis so he could kill me. Let's see if he thinks to come down here. Clap if you care. Have fun mooring your little bot. Goodbye. That was the last game, guys. GG's. That was a lot of fun. Honestly, shout out to that guy. He needed this. He got it. He got what he got it. He got what he got. You know what I mean? Renato is this type. Oh, I know Renato is this type. I had a blast. I had so much fun today. Thanks everybody for being here. We had so many people in here today. We got some good solo games. We had some good lobbies with friends. It was a lot of fun on this Monday. Catch us on Friday. I gotta be honest, that's probably the next time you'll see me. I'm not lying like last week where I started streaming on Thursday, but it's really because I wanted to finish Pocopia. You know what I mean? Can we just understand that? Like I won't be doing that again. No more Thursdays. It's gonna be on Friday. We're gonna raid out to Kevin. He's playing Resident Evil. And we're gonna hang out there. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you everybody for hanging out always. Like I say every day or every time I stream, I appreciate when all the friends are here. I only do this to hang out with y'all, and when you guys are here, it makes it worth it. You know what I mean? And so I appreciate you guys giving your night to me. This was a lot of fun, and I'll see you guys on Friday for sure. I like dad bots. Yeah, I mean, you have a type. I'm gonna throw these raid messages in here. Make sure you copy these and send Kevin all your love. I'll be hanging out in there for the rest of the night while I edit this video, and I'll catch you guys on Friday. Much love to everybody, and yeah, like I said, I only do this to hang out with y'all, so you guys make it worth it. Like I only have fun here because you guys are here, and I've had the best night. Thank you guys for being here.